We share our beds, couches, and living rooms with more than 500 million cats worldwide. We treat them as fully tamed companions that have eagerly submitted to human life. But look closely at their DNA, and a very different biological reality emerges. Modern house cats are physically and genetically almost indistinguishable from their ancient, wild ancestors. Think about the history of dogs and horses. Through thousands of years of selective breeding, humans actively reshaped their bodies and temperaments to fit our exact needs, whether that meant pulling plows, herding sheep, or guarding property. Cats bypassed that directed pathway entirely. This is the African wildcat, the direct ancestor of every domestic feline. Notice the distinct mackerel tabby coat and the compact, muscular frame. That biological template is still running inside the pet purring on your lap. Cats occupy an evolutionary loophole, living in our homes while remaining biologically tuned to the wild. To see how they pulled this off, we have to look back roughly 10,000 years to the Fertile Crescent, right as early humans were inventing agriculture. Farming allowed people to produce and store massive amounts of excess grain in large clay silos. This concentrated caloric wealth quickly drew in exploding populations of mice and rats looking for an easy meal. This diagram illustrates what biologists call the Commensal Pathway. The expanding rodent population created an endless buffet that attracted local wildcats. The felines simply moved into human settlements to exploit this dense, reliable food source. The early farmers realized these predators were protecting their winter food supply, so they let them stay. The humans and cats lived alongside each other, striking an unspoken alliance based entirely on mutual benefit. The feline species secured a permanent global food supply simply by hanging around our barns. They extracted the benefits of human civilization without sacrificing their wild autonomy or changing their DNA. As human societies began to expand across the oceans, those same rodents stowed away on our ships, eating provisions and gnawing through ropes. Felines naturally followed their food supply to sea, becoming an absolute necessity on ancient vessels. The ancient Egyptians actively deployed these working cats on their Nile riverboats, utilizing their hunting skills to dispatch them as snakes and protect vital cargo. As trade routes expanded during the rise of the Roman Empire, felines boarded larger merchant vessels navigating the Mediterranean. They integrated tightly into early European settlements as highly respected pest controllers. Centuries later, they hitched rides on Viking sea crafts. The descendants of these desert predators seamlessly adapted to freezing northern climates and expanding their footprint across tremendous distances. Cats successfully colonized nearly every landmass on Earth by weaponizing the human desire for exploration and trade. They used our shipping routes as a free transit network for their own survival. Which brings us back to the modern living room. Because their journey alongside humans left their biology largely intact, today's pets are still actively running on wild predatory software. When your cat reaches up to shred the side of your couch, it is executing an ancient biological mechanism. Sinking their claws into a soft surface stretches their back and leg muscles, conditioning their bodies to be ready for a hunt. Their habit of aggressively squeezing into tiny, confined spaces, like that cardboard delivery box you left on the floor, is a primal survival tactic. In the wild, cats are prey for larger carnivores, and these small, enclosed spaces offer security. Even their obsessive preference for batting around tiny toys is rooted in the desert. Small prey requires a constant stalk, pounce, kill, eat rhythm to maintain energy levels throughout the day. They aren't misbehaving or acting out when they destroy our things. They are simply treating our human architecture as an active jungle environment. If the creature sleeping at the foot of your bed is operating as an untamed predator, how exactly does it perceive you, the human roommate? First, we have to look at their visual limitations. Cats lack the ability to register fine color details, and their visual sharpness is quite low. They cannot accurately recognize human faces the way a dog might. Instead, they map your identity through deep environmental memory. They define you by your specific behavioral patterns, the pitch of your vocal tones, and your physical routines over long periods of time. When they slowly blink at you from across a room or walk over to headbutt your shin, they are using territorial social signals that are exclusively designed to communicate with other felines. Because cats apply these specific feline rituals to us, It suggests they haven't created a separate social category for humans. They treat us as members of their own tribe, essentially viewing us as giant, human-shaped cats. But there is a very specific dynamic to this relationship. Behaviors like meowing for attention and needing soft surfaces are actually juvenile instincts, originally used exclusively by kittens to solicit care from their mothers.